If you were to ask someone what they most associate with an I Want song, a lot of people would say Disney, thanks to the work of Alan Menken, Howard Ashman, Steven Schwartz, and all the other people who have made the most iconic Disney scores. Disney have a legacy of an I Want song, becoming most popular with the Disney Renaissance films like Little Mermaid, but you can even dive a little bit further back and find the theme of I Want in songs in Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. When I made my video talking about some of the best musical theatre I Want songs of all time, I pitched the idea of ranking every single I Want song in Disney history, and y'all seem to really want this, so here you are, I'm giving you what you asked for. Today I'm going to rank every single Disney I Want song that I could find. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I'm forgetting one song, and someone in the comments is going to go, what about this song? And I'm sorry, but to the best of my knowledge, I am going to rank every single Disney I Want song. But if you haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Ellie, I talk about theatre. I am the most chaotic theatre person on the internet. I do reviews, I do discussions, I do this. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps the channel. But let's dive in to the Disney I Want songs back catalogue. What's the best? What's the worst? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what I think, because this is my channel, and I can do what I want. So, I have gathered 23 I Want songs. These are the ones out of Disney's back catalogue that I think closest aligned to what an I Want song is. There are some songs that have been left off this list, but other similar lists have included them. I wouldn't personally count them as I Want songs, but I'm going to discuss them at the end. You know, to cover my bases. And I'm going to rank these 23 in these 4 tiers. The first tier is God tier. This is the best of the best, the creme de la creme. This is an I Want song that not only perfectly explains and shows what this character wants and needs, but brings you onto their side, really opens you up to the protagonist in the story, as well as just being a phenomenal song as well. Next tier down, this is still great. We have the iconic tier. You know, there's things about this song that have allowed it to last the test of time, but it just doesn't reach God tier. It's still a great song. It's still fantastic and amazingly written, but it just doesn't quite reach the heights. Next one down, we have Decent. I feel like this is a song that's like, cool, yeah, it serves its purpose. It gives you a want. Yeah, I'd listen to it. It's decent. It's pretty good. And then we have Meh. I don't think any of the I Want songs, even some of the weaker ones, go below Meh. So I'm just gonna leave Meh as the bottom tier. It's pretty forgettable. It's not one that I would listen to again. The second it finishes, I'm kind of like, oh. Or maybe it doesn't really show you the want in a clear enough way. So let's go. We're gonna do these in order of release. So we start with I'm Wishing from Snow White. Now, the thing about this one is it's basic. It's a little bit boring. I want to like this one more than I do because it's the first one, but I don't think they'd really, nailed down the I Want song yet. It's not until, Little Mermaid and the Disney Renaissance that we really get, the powerful ballady I Want songs. So, this is just kind of sadly one that lands further down because of its age. But I don't think it can go any higher than Meh. And I feel like the same argument can be said about I Wonder. These are both sweet. They're both sweet songs. They both kind of tell you a little bit, but I don't think you really get a sense of the characters. A lot of the earlier princesses don't really have as fleshed out characters. And because of that, the I Wants feel a little bit more vague. And I think you can even tell that from the titles of these songs. I'm Wishing, I Wonder, it's not quite the meat of the bones as we see from these other ones. These two just kind of show their age. Next up, we move up a couple decades to Alice in Wonderland, which is another one that I was going to put in contentious, but there's one line in it where she says, I'm wishing. And I was like, you know what? That's an I Want song to me. Alice in Wonderland, I think it does a great job at setting up, Alice's want and need to get out of this world. She finds it so dull and boring, and she doesn't really have much freedom about her. And that's what she really wants. She just wants something a little bit chaotic. And girl, I can relate to that as someone who loves a bit of chaos. It's short but sweet. I feel like it's a safe decent. It's not one that I would go back to over and over again. It's not one that I find myself, if you say, what's the best Disney I Want song? I'm like, oh, do you know what slaps? In a World of My Own from Alice in Wonderland. That's not quite what I would say, but I feel like decent's a nice place to put it. And then we jump up to the Disney Renaissance, where they just came up, took a bat and swung and just nailed it on the head. Next up, Part of Your World, which goes into God tier. Ariel's struggles and passion and need is so perfectly shown through this absolute classic by Menken and Ashman. Just Ashman and Menken. Which one sounds better? Menken and Ashman, Ashman and Menken. Second one. Ashman and Menken. I think the thing that makes this one so good is the journey it takes you through. The way it builds. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you just get this really strong sense of the need of Ariel to be part of that world. Next up, Belle. Oh, okay, Belle. I like Belle. Belle is a long song that is kind of like an opening number mixed in with an I Want song. You get the little hints of like, she wants more than this provincial life. I feel like it's more of the reprise of Belle, where you get a clearer sense of her I Want when she's doing the I Want adventure in the great white somewhere. It's a great I Want song. It kind of has a lot of weight on it because you're having to get the setup of the town as well. But it is a strong bop. I feel like puts it firmly into iconic. It's high up in iconic as well, but it's iconic nonetheless. Next up, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Oh, okay. I can tell you right now, this is either iconic or decent. I don't think it is the strongest material in Lion King. I feel like stuff like Be Prepared, or even when you get into the later musical version, He Lives in You, which is just like incredible. Like there are some masterpieces in Lion King, which when you compare that to something like I Just Can't Wait to Be King, which is a bit more boppy, a bit more light, it kind of lowers itself down. And especially when you're comparing it to all these other I Want songs, where the I Want is like they need it with their entire chest. This is like their whole reason for being is this dream, whereas like this is just two kids goofing around, which is like, it's nice, but it's hard to compare it to the others. I put it above In a World of My Own. It's decent. It's nice. Now we get two songs from Hunchback, because I feel like both of these have enough justification that they could both be I Want songs. There's the one that's more famously regarded as an I Want song, Out There, which goes straight into God tier. Oh my god. Again, like Part of Your World, it's the journey of this song. And that final note, the final belt, I have spent one day out there, just shatters me every time. I don't hold much nostalgia for Hunchback. Like, I think I've seen the film once. I don't remember much of it because it was that long ago. But I feel like it is such a passionate song that is so iconic, so high up in God tier. I'm going to put it just below Part of Your World because I feel like Part of Your World is still my favorite, but Out There, gorgeous. And then there's the one that's less regarded as an I Want song, God Help the Outcasts. The thing that this song doesn't have going for it is that it's a lot slower, it's a quieter number, but it's very reflective in that way. And I feel like out of a lot of these I Want songs, the I Want is really, really clear. It's a lovely song that I think ranks above I Just Can't Wait to Be King, but would I put it into iconic? I feel like the fact that it is an I Want song that has kind of flown under the radar a bit, I'm going to put it at the top of decent, but honestly, that does hurt because I feel like it's a strong enough I Want song that it could go up to the next tier, but for now, that's where I'm putting it. Will my mind change later? Maybe. Moving swiftly on, we get Go the Distance. This is one that a lot of people really love, and a lot of people put into God tier, But the more I've re-listened to this one, the more I come to appreciate the others a little bit over it. If you asked me, like 2 years ago, what was my favorite I Want song from Disney, I would probably say Go the Distance, which is weird that I've kind of worn down on it. That's not to say that it would go anywhere below iconic. I don't think anywhere below iconic is right for Go the Distance, because still, I think it's a perfect song to set up Hercules and that feeling of wanting to be more. Something that is very relatable in a part, you know, wanting to find that purpose in life. I think it goes above Belle. I think it is stronger than Belle. I think it's very high up in iconic. It's a fantastic number. I think it just misses God tier by the fact that, you know, he's a human now and not a god. He'll be a god soon. He is the son of Zeus, but he's not a god yet. He's got to go the distance first. Next up, my favorite trans allegory that's not a trans allegory, Reflection from Mulan. Oh, what a great song. What a great song. As someone who has struggled a lot with body image for many reasons, I think there is a real power to this song. Hello, Willow. Willow's been chilling on the bed next to me. Willow, she's tired. Willow, what's your favorite I Want song? I like that one too. Where was I? Mulan? Yes. I think this is another film I don't have that much nostalgia over, but I still think it manages to get into iconic. I think it goes just above Belle. If you can be seen as a trans allegory, I give you extra credit, and that's what I'm giving Reflection from Mulan. Strangers Like Me from Tarzan. This almost didn't count because I think that an I Want song had to be sung by the character. So if we're taking the original film, where this song is performed from the perspective of Tarzan, but not actually sung by Tarzan, it's sung by the composer, I would say that's not an I Want song. Luckily for Tarzan, it can count because of the fact that this was adapted into a Broadway stage musical, where in that version, this song was performed by Tarzan. Therefore, I can count it in this list as an I Want song. So for the purposes of this video, I'm not talking about the Tarzan film, despite the fact that I am using a photo from the Tarzan film as the icon, just ignore that. I'm talking about the musical version. I'm talking about how it's performed in the musical. And honestly, out of all the songs, I think this is one of the strongest bops. Like, if we're talking solidly about just a banger, this is a banger. Oh my god. The fire behind this song and what Phil Collins did. Phil Collins is a mastermind. Tarzan has a great score that is underappreciated, even by me. As a musical theatre song, I feel like it works a little bit less than some of these others, because it is more written to be a underscoring song. It's more written to be a song that goes along a montage, instead of a lot of these other ones that are more written to be like an I Want song. So I feel like in parts it's missing that journey that a lot of these other ones have, and I feel like that's its biggest detriment, and the reason I feel like it struggles to reach the god tier and maybe even reach the iconic tier. Do I put it at the top of decent or the bottom of iconic? For now, I'm going to put it at the top of decent. I feel like that's a strong place for it. I feel like we'll go there. Top of decent for Strangers Like Me. Almost there from Princess and the Frog. Oh, I was talking about a bop last time. This is another bop. I feel like this song both is just a song I would listen to over and over again. I never tire of listening to Almost There. It's so jazzy and upbeat that I just love it. I love putting it on in the background while I'm working. If I'm editing a video, you can guess that one of the songs on my playlist when I'm editing is Almost There. But as well as that, I think it also works so well as an I Want song, giving you that perfect look into Tiana's work ethic and how much she wants and is working so hard to achieve her dream. I feel like that's the difference with a lot of these. A lot of these are goals that feel like they can't be done. You know, Ariel wants legs. Alice from Alice in Wonderland wants a world where nothing makes sense. And Simba wants his dad to pass away. But Tiana works so hard for her goal. She's like, I want this, and I'm going to keep on working for it. And that is the definition of girl boss. Tiana is a girl boss, and I want some respect put on her name. If you were to ask me what my favorite I Want song is, I think I would probably say Almost There. I don't know whether it quite beats Part of Your World when we're weighing up everything about the I Want songs, but oh my god, I think this is a strong second place for me personally. What a beautiful song mixed up all together. And also, something I haven't mentioned in this, but the animation style in this song, where it goes into its different animation style, that's another thing that I should be including into this. The animation. And like the sequence as well. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I am firm in my placement of this being second place in God tier. Yes. We are starting to leave behind the 2D animation, and we're diving into our first 3D animated film, Tangled, with When Will My Life Begin. This is a song I want to rank higher because it's so well performed by Mandy Moore, and you get like a real sweetness to the character of Rapunzel, as well as kind of hinting at the frustration of the repetition in her day and the fact that she hasn't really been able to go anywhere for the past like 18 years, as well as being able to show a clear optimism about her, especially through the animation and the things she's doing and the way that she's kind of throwing her hair about and getting on with her everyday life. There's a lot to like about this song. I just don't think it has a lot of the power that some of these other I Want songs have, but what it has is that real sweetness. I feel like I'd put it just below Strangers Like Me. It's a good I Want song. It's a lovely I Want song. But I feel like often I appreciate it more as an opening number than I do as an I Want song, if you get what I mean by that. Next up, here we get to dive into Newsies. Yes, because I could count Strangers Like Me from the Tarzan musical, I can also shove in Newsies here. I'll start with the less iconic I Want song and then go on to the one that we're all waiting for. So let's start with Watch What Happens. Something that did almost go into contentious, and maybe now that I think about it, could probably land in contentious anyway. But hey, this is my video and I can do what I want, and I want to appreciate Newsies for a minute, okay? Catherine Plummer is such an interesting character, and I feel like Watch What Happens is the first moment where you really, in this musical, get to see her working and her drive and her ambition. She wants to write the perfect story and she wants to do the people in it justice. And I like how this song kind of starts with that element, starts with like, I need to get this right, I need to do this, I want to do this right, and I want to be appreciated for it. It's a nice song. It's a decent song that I feel like would land into decent tier very well. And also the fact that I could probably argue that it isn't an I Want song doesn't really help it as much. You know, if something is contentiously an I Want song, it's probably not the best I Want song. But then there's Santa Fe. Oh, straight up into God tier. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? It's a banger. I'm going to put it just below Almost There. I feel like the Act 1 finale of Santa Fe is a great moment for Jack Kelly to reflect and to reaffirm his want of escaping to Santa Fe. And this moment really shows him at his lowest. And oh my god, if you need a bit of joy, you just listen to Jeremy Jordan belt the final note of Santa Fe. I swear, that one moment fed the theatre kids for like 5 years. Every musical theatre twink became obsessed. For the First Time in Forever from Frozen is next up, and yeah, it's sweet. It's cute. It's a nice introduction to adult Anna, and I enjoy it for that. That's about as much as I would say about it. I feel like it works, and I actually like the version we get in the musical a little bit more when we get the chorus and the big swell after the gates open. But of course, that doesn't really counter into the I Want of it all, so, you know, I'll sweep that under the rug a little bit. I think it's a nice setup for Anna. And yeah, it brings you into her and her optimism and her excitement about, you know, finally being able to speak to other people and to have the world open up to her, essentially. But I don't think it's going to go any higher than decent. That's the thing. I'll put it just above God Help the Outcasts. You know, I like the way that it flows and it builds. Next up, again, one that I wouldn't be able to count unless the musical version existed. Aladdin, which hit Broadway in 2014, and that's why in the time frame it comes after Frozen. And we can start with Proud of Your Boy, which was a deleted song from the film, so I did consider putting it earlier in the video, but it wasn't in that version, it's in this version, so it goes with the 2014 version. And we're going to speak specifically about the version we find in the musical, which I think is a very iconic I Want song. For an I Want song that was deleted from the original film, the fact that it is still regarded as one of the strongest I Want songs of all time, I think shows how good this song is. The only thing I would say about this song that I don't really love is that I think the I Want is a little bit, throwaway, and I can understand why they deleted this from Aladdin, because without it, not much really changes about the character of Aladdin. It does affirm certain elements of his character, but I feel like it's not an I Want that is entirely necessary. So personally, I would probably put it at the bottom of iconic. I feel like it has to go iconic just because of the legacy of this song. But yeah. The other I Want song that we get from Aladdin is These Palace Walls, sung by Jasmine as she kind of wishes to escape the palace and to live a life beyond being the Sultan's daughter. And, I don't really like this song that much, if I'm perfectly honest. I think out of the new songs written for the Aladdin musical, I think this is one of the weaker ones. I think it's an important moment for Jasmine, especially if you want to give her a little bit more of a voice in the musical. So I can understand its importance there, but I just don't really like the song. It's one that, honestly, if it came up on a playlist, I would probably skip. So, you know, there's elements to it where I can appreciate it, but I just honestly don't really like the song. So much so that I'm going to put it at the top of meh. But do you know what absolutely slaps and should get more appreciation as an I Want song? Moana. Moana's How Far I'll Go is fantastic. Lin-Manuel Miranda really writes a strong I Want song. You know, even in something like Hamilton, My Shot is a really strong I Want song, despite being in a very different musical style. And he continues that with How Far I'll Go, which I have to say is probably one of my favorites. Definitely going into iconic. How high in iconic? Let's see if I can justify it now. I think the thing that really goes for this song is that Moana has a really clear want. It's that calling to the sea. She knows that she's destined to go out, to set sail. It's a love and a longing and a passion that she can't hold back. And there's a really clear conflict in her throughout the song of wanting to be what her parents want, wanting to, you know, take over, rule the island, be the leader that everyone in this island wants her to be and needs her to be. And that desperate calling, that longing for adventure, to set sail, to be out there. And that is a great concept for a song, this push and pull within her, this conflict that really suits being portrayed through a song. I think I've done a good job at justifying this, that I would probably put it... Ooh, is it sacrilege if I put it above Belle? I'm going to put it above Belle. So it lands in the middle of iconic. Moana is really underrated saying that. If you go back and watch Moana is really solid. Next up, from Frozen 2, we have Into the Unknown. I think what helps Into the Unknown is that this is the most iconic song from Frozen 2. And you can understand exactly why. That chorus is so powerful. The belting, the notes, and everything, and it's performed incredibly by Idina Menzel, or if you're John Travolta, Adele Dazeem. And I love how this song builds. It's so soaring and beautiful. As someone who hasn't even seen Frozen 2, I will still go and listen to Into the Unknown. It's a fantastic song that I feel like is the best out of every single song that Frozen has brought forward. I think for that, it has to go into iconic. Let's put it above Belle. Actually, no, I've immediately changed my mind. I'm gonna put it just below Elle, but above Proud of Your Boy. Next up, an I Want song that, again, is one that flew under the radar a little bit because of some of the other songs in that musical being a lot more popular. But, oh my god, Waiting on a Miracle is fantastic. Listen, I know that Encanto has so many more iconic songs, and I use this to put some other shows further down the list, but I can't do that to Encanto, man. I can't do it. That feeling of being left out, underappreciated, and pushed aside by a family is stuff that I find really relatable. There's so much in there and the family struggles that really speak to me on a personal level. That means that an I Want song like this means a lot more to me. And sometimes with these things, these are personal opinions, and what you bring to a story is always going to affect your opinion. That's why I'm always saying you're always going to have a natural bias. Because if you've lived similar experiences, if you felt similar things, of course, something like this, a song like this, or a show like this will speak to you a lot more. And that want that Mirabel has in this song to make something of herself, to be as powerful and as loved and as appreciated as all of the other members of her family. She just wants to live up to that. There's so much struggle within that, and there's so much drama and emotion that comes out of that through this song that makes it such a powerful watch. It's one that I really wish got more love from Encanto. I feel like it ranks in a very similar position to Proud of Your Boy. I'm going to put it just below Into the Unknown, but just above Proud of Your Boy. It's one I wish got a lot more love, but I can't push it any higher because I feel like it is overshadowed by What Else I Can Do, and obviously we don't talk about Bruno. And finally, the most recent I Want song is This Wish from Wish. And where we've had like all of the really modern ones go at least into iconic, like Moana, like the past like 5 years of Disney I Want songs have all gone into iconic. This one sadly finds itself towards the bottom again. And the reason for that, beyond some of the lyrics that are a little bit clunky, and I mean, Wish has been hated on to death, but I think what makes this song really struggle as an I Want song is just the fact that that want is so vague. It's just kind of phrased as she wants to be more than this. But I don't think the lyrics really show that much of a need for it, or really take it to the lengths that some other songs do. But just on the whole, I feel like the want is very unclear, and because of that, it really struggles to stick an emotional landing. With a clearer want, I feel like this song could land into decent, but without that, I feel like it lands into meh. I feel like the song is stronger than the older stuff, so it lands kind of into the middle of meh. And so out of all the songs that I would class as I Want songs, this is our tier list. I'm going to move Hercules up into iconic. So we have our top 5 up there. But yeah, I would agree with this. So let's quickly discuss where within this I would put some of the contentious ones. The first contentious one I'm going to talk about is A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes from Cinderella. A song that has been included in a lot of other I Want song lists, but I don't think it's an I Want song. She's not asking for anything, she's just kind of singing a lullaby. There's not really a want in there, and because of that, I can't count it. If I was going to count it, I would probably put it just above This Wish. It's sweet, I think it is certainly iconic, but again, there's not really a want, and it really is a shorter song that doesn't really have as much impact as some of the others on this list. There's Let It Go from Frozen, which again, I feel like isn't really an I Want song. Let It Go, as in the name, is a song about letting go and freeing up yourself. It's more of a realization than an I Want song. But some other lists have counted it, and if I was going to put it on here, probably the bottom of iconic to the top of decent. Just Around the River Bend from Pocahontas, which Steven Schwartz did say may not be a classic I Want song, but he did go on to say that it sets up her sense that she has a destiny rather than the one that's been laid out by her father and society. This quote coming from the Wikipedia article. Thank you, Wikipedia. Very cool. I kind of went back and forth whether I wanted to include it onto the list, but I decided to put it into contentious because even the writer is kind of saying it's a bit contentious in a way. And again, I think the I Want song is vague enough that, yeah, I feel like it has to go a little bit lower. I feel like the bottom of decent is probably a good place for it, just above these Palace Walls, but below Alice in Wonderland's In the World of My Own. I like it. is a nice song, but again, I feel like there are more iconic songs in Pocahontas that have made more of a splash in the Riverbend. And finally, Jack's Lament from Nightmare Before Christmas, a song that I can see an argument for making it an I Want song. It's about how he's tired of the same old routine. But the reason I didn't include it onto the main list is because he doesn't really say what he wants. He just kind of says that he's tired. I like this one. It's a nice song that would probably land around where Frozen and Tangled are in Decent. And I like how it gives you a nice emotional moment with Jack. But that is our list. Are there any I Want songs that I missed out? If you let me know, and I agree with you that they can at least be kind of considered as an I Want song, I'll tell you where I would have ranked them if you put them in the comments down below. And tell me what would have been in your God tier. Let me know. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram and want to drop me a follow over there. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.